Hello again, class 3. I hope you are doing well. So today we will start to study a new lesson on the class book. So please open your class books and move to page 84. Okay, it's page 84. And we have lesson 5, skills time. It's about lesson 5, skills time. First skill that we have reading skill. Okay, and as usual, we will learn some new words, some new vocabularies, and actually they are not verbs, they are not nouns, they are prepositions, okay? Preposition of place, they are prepositions, and let us start to learn all of them. Number 1, or the first one, we have along. Along, it means بدرێژایی. بۆ نمونە بەدرێژایی ڕێگەکە، بەدرێژایی شوێنێک، بەدرێژایی جادەکە، بەدرێژایی تونێلەکە، یاخود لە قەراغی. بۆ مانایە دێ هەنێ جا لەگەڵ کاتی شابەکاریێنین with time. So it means when you want to tell a direction. واتە کە تۆ ئەتەوێت دایرەکشنی شوێنێک بڵێ ئاماژەی پێبێ. For example, here we have this sentence. It says, we walked slowly along the road. We walked slowly along the road. واتە ئێمە بەخاوی یاخود بەهێمنی بەدرێژایی ڕێگەکە ڕۆشتین. We walked slowly along the road. Okay, أما لەویا چیمان کردووە وەکو بەدرێژایی ڕێگەکە بەکارمانهێنا. For example, another sentence we have there's a store along the street. Okay, there's a store along the street. There's a store along the street. Okay, so here in this sentence there's a store along the street واتە دوکانێک لە قەراغ جادەکە یاخود لە لێواری جادەکەوە هەیە. Okay, it's about along. And we have through. In this way, you have to pronounce this word, through. Okay? Through. It's not throw, through. Through, it means benavi date apare. If you look at the picture here, we have this girl and she came through the door. Okay? So, she came through the door. Wata awla now dargaka hatwa. Okay? Banaw dargaka. After that, we have in the middle of. In the middle of, you have to add somewhere. Okay? Wata ladwai ofako abeshrenably. In the middle of, it means لناوراستيا باشا. For example, in the middle of the fountain, in the middle of the street, in the middle of the garden, in the middle of the museum, something like that. You have to add a place. If you look at the picture, you have a field, and in the middle of that field, there's a boy. Or we can say, look, there's a boy in the middle of the field. There's a boy in the middle of the field, right? Are you agree with me? Yes. After that, we have at the top of. At the top of, if you look at the picture very well, it will be so clear. زورنا أجر سيريكي at the top of, it means لسلوت كاكيتي باشا. For example, at the top of the mountain. Look, there's a girl and she's at the top of the mountain. She is at the top of the mountain. Look. After at the top of, we have between. Actually, we talked about this preposition, but I'm going to repeat it for you again. Between, it means شتێک کەسێک لە نێوان دوو شتی تردا بێ. باشا? If you look at the picture, we have a boy and he is between the trees. Okay? For example, you can say the pencil is between the book and the notebook. Okay? Or you can say the computer is between the door and the cupboard. Okay? اگر هر دو شتەکە لە یەکتر بوون ئەو کاتەر ئاماژە بە ناوی شتەکەکەی بەڵام ئەبێ پرۆڵار بێ. Because in this picture we have a boy and he is between the trees. So in this way there's a boy and he is between the trees. بەڵام ئەگەر لە جاتی ئەم دارە بۆ نمونە خانوێک وایە ئەو کاتەمان چوون ئەمانوو چی we should stay at this time. There's a boy and he is between the house and the tree. ئەگەر ئەمە house بووە. Last one we have inside. Inside it means لە ناویەتی. باشا قولي من inside it means لناويتي بون من اشتيك لناو اشتيك عبه. If you look at the picture, we have another picture which is inside the tree. No, there's a girl, I think. Yeah, she's a girl. Okay, she's a girl and she's inside the tree. Okay, the girl, look, the girl wants to hide herself inside the tree. Or you can say the bird is inside the tree, or the rat is inside the tree. So inside, it means لناوية. Let me repeat them again. We have along, through, in the middle of, at the top of, between, and inside. What should you do with these vocabularies? You must bring your notebook and open it, move to a new page as usual, as we did before, and then try to write down the word. Okay, you have to rewrite them, and at this time you can add a sentence for each one. Right now I told you some sentences orally. You can write down them. At this time I'm not going to put them to a sentence. Okay, you must do it by yourself. Okay, now after that we have this piece of writing. First we will listen to the audio, which is about the Vikings. We will listen to the audio to get the pronunciation, then I'm going to explain it for you. Okay,
Listening 94. Listen and read. The Vikings came to England 1,000 years ago. Viking houses were very small. There was only one room in some houses. There was a fire in the middle of the room for cooking and heating. There were holes at the top of the house for the smoke from the fire. There wasn't a lot of room between Viking houses, so the animals were sometimes inside the house. Viking houses were very full. In the north of England, there is a city called York. The Viking name for York was Jorvik. You can learn about life in Viking York at the Jorvik Viking Centre. At the centre, you can go through a Viking town. You can sit in a special car called a time car and move along a Viking street and through a Viking house.
So now, dear students, we have this piece of writing, and the title is The Vikings. Okay, The Vikings. Dear students, I'm not going to translate each word, okay, because actually it's very easy. All of the words are very easy and you can get it by yourself. But I'm going to tell you what does mean the Vikings, okay, or Vikings. Viking, it means somehow, it means pirate. Pirate wata chate derya. Those people who are, they are seagoing people. Wata وكساني كده ناو دريا بردام لبي أجينو لن بدرجة جانب ناو دريا تأبارنن ياخد بسربن وشيء كتيرش من هي ترى ديك زور هواتي وشيء فايكينك أبي شيء pirate. Pirate وata chate derya. أما ما معناه أو وata وكساني كلناو دريا إنه وكو chate derya تعامله كان بيانو ده Vikings or Viking. تنها بيم خوش بأود بارم كم أجينا هات وشيء كتير لراتيا هموی زور ساده و آسان پیوست نکم من دانشم ورد بار بود کم با کردی و چیشم کردوا I highlighted okay those words that we learned when they were above, along, through, in the middle of, at the top of, between, and inside. You can find out these prepositions here, and I highlighted so you can do what I did. Okay, so let me read it for you. The Vikings. The Vikings came to England 1,000 years ago. Viking houses were very small. You see how is it easy? There was only one room in some houses. I would like to read it slowly, okay, to get it. There was a fire in the middle of, look, I highlighted this word because it's a preposition that we learned before. In the middle of the room for cooking and heating. Okay, cooking and heating, both of them are verbs. There were holes at the top of the house. At the top, it's another preposition. For the smoke from the fire. Is it clear? There wasn't a lot of room between Viking houses. So between also. So the animals were sometimes inside the house. So inside is another preposition that I mentioned before. Do you remember? I told you it means now. هل رباسي تشيد وقالها هناك لا أجل مكان أنا خانوا كأبون. Viking houses were very full. If I ask you a question, what is opposite of full? Full? Who knows? Empty. Do you remember? Now, another part. In the north of England, okay, there's a city called York. York. In this way, you have to read this word. The Viking name for York is Jorvik. Ama nali Jorvik. Basha Jorvik. Okay? For York was Jorvik. You can learn about life in Viking York at the Jorvik Viking Center. Okay? Here in this piece of writing, in this part, we don't have any preposition. Okay? So that's why I didn't highlight anything here. Last part, at the center, you can go through. You see, we have through, another preposition. You can go through a Viking town. You can sit in a special car. You know what this means? Special, it means taibat. What is taibat? Called a time car. Time car. And move along. Here you see we have along and move along Viking Street. باشا بدرجة جادي Viking ياخد جادة كناي جادي Viking Street. And through, sorry, so again we have through 2 times used, and through a Viking house. Okay? اوكي گوڵە کانی من وەکو ئاماژەم پێەیە پێویست ناکەم من دانیشم بیکەم بە کوردی word by word وە شتێکی باش نییە هەرگیز منەوە باش نازانم لەبەرەوەی خۆی بابەتەکە ئاسانە و وشەکانیشی ئاسانن بەڵام ئەوەی کە تۆ ئێستا پێویستە چی بکەی please try to rewrite this piece of writing inside your notebooks هەوڵ بە بۆم بنووسیتەوە هەر سێ پارتەکەی باشە گوڵی من ئەتوانی لە دەفتەرەکەت لە کات نووسینەوە ئەو پریپۆزیشنانە لە جیاتی هاڵاتی کە ئەتوانی ئەندەڵاینێکی خەتێ بەژێریا بێنی ئۆکەی بەم شێوەیە قتێک بەژێریا بێنی بە پێن بێ یان با شتێکی تر بێ وە چیترم بۆ بکە ئەتوانی کتێبەکەت بگری بەدەستەوە بچیتە بەردەم ئاوێنەیەک باشە لە بەردەم ئاوێنەکە دانیشی بیخوێنیتەوە بۆ خۆت جارجار سەر هەڵبڕە سەرێکی ئاوێنەکە بکە جا ئەگە غەڵەتێکی کرد بۆ نمونە وشەیەکە بە غەڵەت خوێندەوەیەکە لە وەردەکان لێت غەڵەت بوو پرۆناوسیشنێکی لە هەڵە بوو سی ئاوێنەکە کە چەند جارێک دووبارەی کەرەوە پێویست ناکات تۆ دانیشی دایک و باوکیش ئەزێت بێ خۆت ئەتوانی ئەم کارە بکەی من دڵنیام ئێوە هەمووتان قوتابی زۆر عاقڵ و زیرەک و سەلارن ئەتوان بچنە بەردەم ئاوێنەیەک بۆستن پارت بای پارت بیخوێنەوە لە کوێ زانی هەڵەت کرد چی بکە ئەو وەردە چەند جارێک دووبارە کە لە بەردەم ئاوێنەکە سەری ئاوێنەکە بکە باشە so you can stand in front of the mirror and try to read it. It will be better if you want to improve your reading skill. ئەگەر بتێت تۆ خوێندنەوەت باشتر بێ ئەمە ڕێگەیەکی زۆر باشە. And then if you come down you have this exercise. Let's do it together. ئەم exercise مانە بابێ کۆ بیکەم من بۆت نانووسم بەڵام پێتەڵم چۆن چۆنیە. Read again and write. Here we have these words. You have to return these words into the spaces, but be aware, be careful about the meaning. Okay, it's about meaning. Number 1, York is a city in the north of England. Okay, number 1 is done. Number 2, Viking houses were very. We have very, so after very we should add an adjective. Viking houses were very room, nope. Very houses, never. Very fire, na amana har sekyan nounen. Am se word har sekyan nounen. La duay very natwanin noun beni. Abe adjective be. Halls also awi shartiya nouna. Hall yawanay hall. Alaykum alay hall insanawi. Shun juleki danishna. Waku dining room wa. Full, we have full. So full is an adjective kata. Madam full adjective la duay very or full bakarin. So it will be Viking houses were very full. I'm a number 2, so let me draw a line on this word. 3. Viking weren't big. Viking چی؟ Viking halls? Nope. Viking fire weren't big. شتیوە هەر نابێ. It's meaningless. Viking room بەڵام یەک شت تێبینی کە لێرە weren't-مان هەیە. Viking room توانم لە دوای Viking ناونی ڕۆمیش بێنم بەڵام ئەبێ بە یەک شتا تۆ زۆر وریابی مادەم weren't-مان هەیە کەواتە ئەبێ ئەو ناونە پرۆڵەر بێ. Right? Do you remember that? ئەبێ پرۆڵەر ناونێ بێنین. ئەم چوار وەردێکە مامەنە هەر چواریان ناونن. بەڵام کامیان پرۆڵەرە لەگەڵ weren't ئەگونجە؟ Houses. So it will be Viking houses weren't big. ئەبینی چەند پەیوەندی بە مینینەوەی ئەوەش پەیوەندی بە گرامەرەوە هەیە. Number 4. There was a in the middle of the room. We have a as an article. Article-ێکمان هەیە کە ئەویش چیە ئەیە کە لەگەڵ چیا بەکارێنین with singular countable nouns. لەگەڵ singular countable noun-ەکانە بەکارێنین کەواتە ئەگەر houses-مان بمایە دەمانەتوانین لەگەڵ ئەوە بەکارێنین چونکە houses لەرە پرۆڵەرە. سێ وەردمان هەیە هەرسێکیان singularن بەڵام ئەم کاتە ئیش لەسەر چیەکەین مینین. So there was a in the middle of the room. ئەگە بگەیتەوە بۆ سەرەوە then in the middle of the room ئەڵە چی ئەڵێ there was a fire in the middle of the room. کاتە چیێنین؟ You have to choose fire. So number 4 please you must use fire. There was a fire in the middle of the room. لە ناوڕاستی ژوورەکە ئاگرێکە بوو. Number 5. There was only one in some houses. Only one. Only one چی سێریکە. Number 1 مان هەیە مادەم number 1 مان هەیە وەکوای بڵێ ئە کەوتی ئە باشە کەوتی ئە ئەبێ ئەو ناونەی دوایەوە singular noun بێ واتە ناوێکی تاک بێ بەڵام halls پرۆڵەرە room singular کاتە of course ڕوومی لەگەڵ بەکارێنێ. So number 5 you must write down room. We have only one word with one space, so you have to fill the space with this word. They were at the top of the house. ئەمیش بە هەمان شێوە وێرمان هەیە ئەبێ ناونەکەی دوایە چی بێ پرۆڵەر بێ. So there were halls at the top of the house. That's it. Okay? I didn't write the word or the words. You must write by yourself. Okay? So now let's move to the workbook. گوڵە جوانەکانی من. Now please move to page 84 on the workbook. پێم خۆش بوو ئاماژە بە یەک شت بکەم. گوڵی من کتێبەکەی من لەوانەیە لەگەڵ کتێبی هەنێکتانە جیاواز بێ. ئەمە جارێکی تریش باسم کرد. واتە ژمارەی پیجەکان لە لای من ژمارەیەکە لەوانەیە لای تۆ ژمارەیەکی تر بێ. بۆیە من زۆر بەڕوونی بابەتەکە مێنشن ئەکەم واتە بابەتەکە پیشانێ مەسەن لەسنی چەند و باسی چی ئەکەین. لەبەر ئەوەی وەکوتم کتێبەکەی من لە کتێبی هەنێکتان جیاوازە تەنانەت هەنێکا بابەتەکانی جیاوازیشە و کۆی کە ئێستا لێرە شتێک ڕووی داوە لە کتێبەکەی منە هەڵەیەک هەیە پێت ئەڵێم. We have this exercise on page 84 which is about along, through, in the middle of, at the top of, between and inside. It is about those prepositions that we learned before. Okay, awani ki esa pass mak lamwane ha. Okay, we have this park or it's like a playground, something like that. We have these sentences. You have to use these prepositions to complete these sentences. Abe preposition kan bakar benito, be mana kan ya be rasma kabzana. Bonumuna number 1. A girl is going the gate. Gate what order gagawre? Alinchi. A girl is going in the middle of no through the gate. Wakutman pedate apare. Do the rest like this. Okay, if you come down, we have this exercise. Read the class book, write T or F. It's about true false. Mala, من خوند مو سرم کرد. بابتا كبا باسي بيترا أكا. هیچ بهمدی کی نیه بابتی the Viking أو کیسا باس مان کرد. لبر أو من یک کروسی گورم لم exercise أجر لاي توش بهماشتا. باسي بيترا أكا كتابة كيتو page 84 ياخد بابلين بابتي كباسي preposition كمان بوكا بهماش يوتو ضربة كيليه. والله لانه لكتابي هنكتانا وبيم خوش أقدرم كانوا أجر واقت أو exercise لاي أو راستا أقدرم كانوا أقدر باريتشي the Viking باشا لبر أو من exercise reject كم واعترف زي كم لبري أمشتا لكتابة كي منا نمخندوا بابتت تايبد نيبويك the Vikings. And that's all for today. I hope you to stay safe at home and please wash your hands every time. Have a nice time. Bye bye.
The Vikings, an age of conquest. The Vikings were groups of warriors from Scandinavia who between the 8th and 11th centuries left their homes in order to raid and settle in Europe, Asia, and the North Atlantic during a period known as the Viking Age. The Vikings were master seafarers. The unique design of their long ships enabled them to use sails or oars, quickly change direction without turning around, sail up shallow rivers, perform beach landings, and carry the ship over portages. The Vikings formed fearsome raiding parties under leaders with fearsome names such as Sigurd Snake in the Eye, Sweyn Forkbeard, Ragnar Harrybreeks, and Harold Bluetooth. The Vikings were pagans, which made the unprotected monasteries in northern England and Scotland popular targets, and got Christian Europe quite upset. At a certain point, the Vikings ruled over most of England. They established settlements in Iceland, Greenland, Europe, and for a short time in North America, some 500 years before Columbus reached its shores. Vikings, who were known in East Europe as Rus, formed the basis for the Kingdom of Russia. In France, the Vikings, who were known as Northmen, established the Duchy of Normandy. Eventually, the Vikings assimilated into each of their destinations, and their relatives back home were Christianized. By the 12th century, the Viking Age was over. The Vikings lived on, however, in the European imagination, both as destructive barbarians and as romantic, noble savages.